looking around. With Michelangelo just burning the match on front end. Dimitri goes in. Woozy picks up the kill and the fight. Woozy gets taken down.
So no flash away, ace in the post. At wala na si Asset.
A bit too low on kill rate. That would be a curse.
What is up, Summoners? Welcome back to the Garena Local Collegiate League. Of course, it's powered by Lenovo. Challenge what you know. We are going to be your casters for today. Let's get your service, fam. I'm kind of out of breath after that pretty good jazz. But of course, with me is Chisto, and man, interesting game that we have. FEU versus National University.
Yeah, our final game for the day, and FEU looking to bounce back after a tough defeat to LCL University versus Arcus. And I really hope FEU isn't as flustered from their defeat, and I hope they can bounce back and secure their top seed in the conference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I almost thought, almost, that FEU might pull off the undefeated streak, but fortunately that's been halted. But let's go ahead and see what happens here in the drafting phase for FEU versus National University. Still high expectations for both sides. These are National University, I'd consider another team that is kind of a favorite to make it into the playoffs as well because of how they've been performing. I know you've been a fan of that 4-man. Wait, no, that was a 5-man knock.
Yeah,
from
5-man.
Before.
Yeah.
Man. So kind of interested in seeing if they're going to pull off that same stint here. But looking at the bans, quick review. Strundle, Vel'Koz, Stana, Lulu, Shen, and Twitch.
And that does, of course, leave the Sejuani open for FE to take, and that does leave the Gragas for NU and potentially a Janna. Or are they going to lock in this game? It is locked in. So Janna not being picked up yet by either team.
Interesting.
FEU opting for the bot lane duo of Zaya and Rakan. Good synergy there.
Wow.
Of course, Rakan being a stronger pick with Zaya, increasing the range of his E and just allowing for more engage, more mobility in lane. Wow, both teams not opting to pick Janna here. John is, I think, in my opinion, one of the best Ardent Sensor users in the current meta, and not just having on your team for that disengage and utility is like sort of a mistake in a sense, but NU opting for a team fight heavy composition here, and let's see how FEU will respond.
Man, duo bot goals for both Kido and Wix here, I gotta say. Interesting how that'll work for them here. But Lissandra, another pick I haven't really seen. A personal favorite of mine, unfortunately, has fallen off as of the recent season. But how do you think this will work with these? I see a lot of... They have the pretty good stun in the Taric. They have some...
You have a lot of teamfight and CC potential in this NU comp, but FEU picking a single target CC mage here with Malzahar, and ooh, the Urgot of McCrory getting through. Almost missed that. Of course,
signature.
McCrory very popular for his Urgot, especially in solo queue and the amateur scene around here. He plays this champ very well. He's really picked it up ever since the rework, and it's been one of his staple picks throughout the past few months. And it'll be interesting what Paul Kappa picks into this Urgot.
Indeed. And Malzahar as well for Bryce. So Malzahar, another one of those champions that we haven't really seen after the many nerfs that he went through.
Gangplank?
Ooh, interesting.
Not sure is the best matchup into Urgot. See what Paul Kappa will take here for his final pick of NU. They do have the option to counter pick the Urgot depending on what matchup they think is the best. And I think that's locked in. It will be a Gangplank. So heavy team fight and AoE for National University. As for FEU, a lot of single target here. I mean, with Balzar's ultimate and the suppression, they can lock down a single target and execute it with new Urgot ultimate, which of course, once you go below the health threshold, you will get instantly executed and pulled back toward them with the chains flashing on your screen, just bringing you to your death. So, interesting teams here, but so far I'm a big fan of FEU's comp just because they have a lot of tools to be proactive in the early game They have Glacial Prison, they have the quickness from Rakan, they have Malzahar ultimate to flash engage onto targets of NU. Whereas NU, they need to set up, they need to scale in order to be effective in these team fights and lay down their damage. You know, it's up to FEU to really push the tempo of this game in order for them to meet their win conditions.
So there you have it, folks. Both sides have their compositions locked. And of course, let us know wherever you're watching, either on Facebook or YouTube, as to who you guys think is going to be taking this match for today. FEU, after an interesting defeat against DLSU, I'm wondering, because that's the first defeat that they've suffered for the entire conference. I mean, in the past, other conferences, sure, but for this one, after a great streak, you know, suddenly faltering. So I'm wondering if it's going to affect their dynamic, or they'll still go in as strong as ever. The National University, I wonder, one of those teams which is kind of new to this conference, but still, boom.
Yeah, I think FEU is experienced enough across the board to be able to bounce back from a defeat, not be too flustered for the next game. I think they're able to reset and really just take this as a new game and just put that defeat behind them.
Right. And I mean, I guess that does make sense, because if you're going to look at their roster, once again, we've been pegging McRory as one of the not only a veteran in the LCL, but also a person who has been competing in the Piltover's Finest Series. Kido as well, who has professional experience going into this. And the rest of FEU, you know, pretty solid talent, I gotta say. I'm pretty surprised. Again, this is what I really like about LCL personally, having been a PGS team manager. You know, you could really scout out who could potentially take their career to the next level. They want to go semi-pro.
Question mark?
Question mark. It's been a while. He's been in it for a long.
He's gunning for it now.
He's gunning for it, yeah. I mean, kudos to the team that he's on. You know, they've really been performing. But then again, the same could be said for National University. We have seen some of these players compete in the semi-pro league as well, such as...
I think Carnegie.
Carnegie, yeah, there you go. And
what was his team name? That's not important. Let's just wait for the game to start.
Yeah, there you go. So, man, well, aside from Carnegie, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of players on their roster which is
who are active in semi-pro tournaments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty good showing as to which players. This is a great platform, I'd say, because sure, in semi-pro you could compete, but sometimes not many pro teams pay attention to what happens in semi-pro. So LCL is a great platform to at least showcase what you're capable of. But ladies and gents, here we go into the game. Carnegie getting caught out by 5 members of FEU. Going to be forced to flash away early on. Interesting. So...
yeah, so Gragas won't have flash for a potential early gank for the next 5 minutes, depending on his mastery choice. So that really takes a lot out of Gragas. Of course, that body slam into flash, one of the most effective ganking tools in the first few minutes of the game. Let's see how that pans out for NU now that their early game has already been hindered by not a very large amount, but their early pressure is somewhat lower now.
You can't really pull off that fancy flash into a body slam with this Gragas here. But again, of course, to all of you that have just tuned in, once again, as a quick recap, this is our final game for today. This between Far Eastern University 1990X versus National University Rage Esports.
So interesting. I want to talk about the start from Pixelated. He opted into Relic Shield, and for Caitlyn, I personally don't think it's the best start, because Caitlyn naturally is already a lane bully because of her superior range. But taking Relic Shield just takes it decreases your damage substantially in the lane, and I'm really not sure why he's opting to rush that when he's already in a winning lane matchup.
Exactly. You know, to put as much priority in trying to get that early Ardent, I mean, we'll just have to see if it works for them. But like you said, it does remove some of the innate advantages that you have just by going up with this matchup here versus Asaya and Rakan. So we'll just have to see how that works out for them, or if it'll eventually benefit them later on. That's something I'm interested in seeing, if it will potentially manifest or not.
Okay, so let's talk about this mid lane matchup. Of course, Malzahar and Lissandra are rare picks in the mid lane in the current meta. Really not the most popular, and I think that's because of their built-in range. I mean, Malzahar needs to get close in order to ulti, but despite in the bot lane, Carlisle getting chunked will be forced to flash. So, like I said, Lissandra needs to get close to her targets in order to land her CC and damage, and I think there are just other mid laners with more effective range that are probably stronger in this meta, but both teams opting for these rather unorthodox picks here, even in the top lane.
Indeed. So there we have it though. I mean, Unorthodox in the sense that I wonder if these are pocket picks or is it more for because they want to try something here? We'll just have to see though. I mean, for the Urgot, for example, from Rory, that's definitely a known pocket pick from him.
Yeah, I think Rory's pool is definitely very deep compared to other top laners. I mean, he can...
In the LCL.
Yeah, in the LCL. I think he can play almost anything, actually. Pero, well, he can play anything, but I don't see him as being an actual main of anything where he's mastered. It's more like he's a jack of all trades, master of none.
There's a way of putting it. Like, oh, it's like we have a fight. Though Paul Kappa going to be joining the fight here. So much damage being dished out onto Carnegie, and that will be first blood going into Far Eastern University's.
That damage coming out from Urgot, from Rory, is just insane in this early game. And of course, Carnegie not having the flash will not be able to escape. And good lead for Rory to potentially snowball this lane versus the Gangplank.
And this is pretty interesting because CS difference-wise, 11 to 21, Urgot versus Gangplank here. But nonetheless, what I really like about these pocket picks sometimes, especially if they're one of the more newer champions that were released. I mean, sure, Urgot has been out for like, what, a month or two already with this rework? But still, regardless, sometimes it's a great way to catch your opponents off guard because they're not really in on how to deal with these type of picks sometimes because of how infrequent you see these champions being fielded into whether it's LCL or semi-pro or amateur tournaments.
Yeah, I think unless you're one of those players who constantly spam solo queue games, like 5 to 6 games a day, and you see all these matchups in solo queue, I think once you get into competitive and you get cheesed in a matchup, you're going to have a hard time adapting if you're not familiar with the champion. So
Exactly.
I think that's one of the keys here and why Rory picks Urgot a lot.
Ooh, intended stun there, not reconnecting. But still, going back to that topic right there. Once you look at it in a way, the thing about these pocket picks is that, especially if they're unorthodox, which is why I feel AEX really worked during one of the previous PGS terms. Not only are their picks unorthodox, but they have some level of sense and logic as well as to how it works in the composition they go for. So, yeah, sometimes that could really throw you off but looks like Powder in the vicinity to try again. Will be getting the stun on the Pixelated Pixel. I'm not sure if he'll be able to escape. The Wix missing out on that knockup, but that doesn't matter. Pixelated goes down to Kido with another kill for FEU.
Yeah, even though Wix misses his flash engage there, it still zones Pixelated. It forces Pixelated to walk back in order to juke the CC, and it gets it puts Kido in range to finish off Pixelated for the kill.
Sometimes you don't have to land those.
Yeah, zoning abilities.
Exactly.
That's my excuse for missing majority of my skill shots. I just say zoning ult.
Zoning ult, and it
Works.
still goes bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes it goes bad, sometimes it works.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Most of the time it's bad.
Most of it, yeah, I feel for you, man. Overall, though, FEU to a great start, though. But nonetheless, even with this 2-0, gold-wise, very much even. I'd say 700, not really much of a huge difference as of yet. But then again, we could attribute it to the fact that a little bit of it kind of leans toward Rory here with this almost a wave and a half of a difference of CS in comparison to Paul Kappa.
So let's see Lissandra.
Ooh, ultimate from
2v1.
Rory.
I wonder if Carnegie was just late for that or he actually initiated the gank, but Rory just showing his mastery over Urgot, I guess.
That's crazy.
Solo killing Paul Kappa in a 2v1 situation. I mean, vicinity-wise, I mean, I didn't see if Carnegie walked up. I wonder if he did though.
Speaking of Paul Kappa, I mean, I'm still not over how awesome he was on that run from the previous week. That being said, I was hoping that he would bring out that champion again because he was so great on it. And like I've been talking about earlier, it's another one of those pocket picks that not all people know how to deal with that champion yet.
Yeah, maybe Paul Kappa was just not confident in laning Ornn into the Urgot.
True.
Maybe he was more content with picking the scaling champ in the Gangplank. I mean, Gangplank, as far as early levels go, you want to farm up, get a Sheen, clear a few waves, get stacks in your Silver Serpents in order so that you can upgrade your ulti and just really clear waves in your lane and look at the other lane so you can see where you want to ulti and get assists, get more gold. Because Gangplank is a late game monster but able to one-shot squishies with his barrels and the crits.
Then again, ooh, Carnegie gonna try something new. Body slams in, but doesn't follow up with an ultimate. Is, I think, down. Oh wait, no, he's not even at level 6 yet. So a little bit of a fight happening in power to getting the kill onto Carnegie. Are they gonna continue those charm onto Pixelated there? But no, they have to back away.
8 minutes into this game, already 4-0 for FEU, really being the more proactive team across the map. And I think Carnegie is a bit flustered after his forced flash in the early game. He's been really out of sorts with his ganks. It's either his laner has died when he was coming for a gank, or he just gets counter gank once he does arrive to the lane.
This is a Kido getting the kill onto Carnegie though. Glacial Prison connects onto Pixelated. Will they be able to get the kill though? That is the question. One more E, but no, Kido falls short of mana.
Really close. Super aggressive moves here from FE, really upping the tempo, upping the pace of this early game. It's already netted them a 2k gold lead at 9 minutes, 5 kills up to none.
I'm actually surprised because if there's one team I feel would have potentially gone head-to-head with FEU, I was actually estimating it would be National University. So to see this type of a lead early on is actually somewhat surprising to me. And if this actually scales into something bigger than a 5-0, then I'm kind of worried for National Universities because this is very uncharacteristic of how I've been seeing them play throughout these previous games that they've had, where sure, they may have had some losses, but they've always, it's never been like a huge stomp.
Yeah, I think losing to DLS, you unlocked a new version of FEU. They're just mad now.
Not taking any prisoners in this case. But here we go, ultimate, Nethergrass connecting on let's go, but I'm not sure Blaze will be able to survive. Rory getting the kill. I think that was the ultimate once again.
Yeah, it looks like McRory is definitely angry from losing to DLS here. Just been all over the place with these kills here and already has half the kills off his team. Really trying to show that he can play these carry-oriented champs and he's not just a one-trick tank player.
I don't think I've ever seen like this big of a lead early on, even though it's not really as big in the goal difference, but a 6-0? I mean, and across the board, I mean, usually when these type of things happen wherein, let's say it's a 6-0, it's usually just one lane that's kind of falling behind from a team just taking advantage of how behind a certain lane is. But in this case, it's kind of spread out across the board here for National University. So I'm kind of worried as to how much they can deal with, knowing that there's not really a single person on their team right now that is really in a position to, let's say, carry or set up for the team.
But I still think that NU's comp has a lot of scaling, a lot of power in the late game with the Caitlyn and the Gangplank. And of course, at some point during team fights, Tark and Lysandra are going to do so much work with the AoE and the protection. And what NU has to do to dig out of this hole is to slow down the pace of FEU, try to stop the offense that FEU is pushing forward with here, and really just try to scale towards the late game. But right now, FEU dictating the game.
Indeed, and it's just National University being much more responsive. I mean, earlier within the first few minutes, sure, we have seen some level of initiative, knock-up not connecting onto Pixelated, but looks like further pursuit. Stun though, coming in from Kido right there. Are they gonna continue? Looks like they're just kind of balancing things off here. Wick's taking a lot of damage. Ultimate coming in from Carlisle. They are trying to go for the chase. Ultimate gonna be popped, but whoa, look at the damage coming in from Kido, taking down Carlisle right there. And that will put another kill, putting the scoreboard to 7-0.
Yeah, the damage from Zaya's Blade Caller when she pulls her feathers back, it's really unexpected burst, especially when you're not aware how many feathers she's actually pulled down. It can really catch you off guard, and Carlisle not even using a single summoner spell there to react. Just gets bursted down. Now 7-0 to FEU. Really pushing the pace of this early game.
Whew, this is just somewhat overwhelming here. I mean, Rory 3-0. Kido 3-0. This is just way different from the FEU that we saw earlier. Like you mentioned, that one defeat may have just unleashed the beast at this point.
I don't think I've ever seen McRory 3-0 in a carry.
At least not in the LCL.
Not in the LCL.
Yeah. I mean, in semi-pro, I think I've seen a few games wherein he got things going on with not just in Urgot, but in general. But
He
anyways,
was playing. Was he playing a carry though?
he was playing Urgot. But there we go. Anyways, still, let's go ahead and look at potential conditions wherein National University could try to come back.
I mean, they do have a good team fight comp here. If FEU doesn't layer their CC properly or go on the wrong target, but right now Carnegie is not tanky enough to deal with the damage that FEU can bring out. And Pixelated still has no core items complete, but Carlisle now does have the Ardent Sense in order to buff Pixelated's DPS. We'll have to wait and see how fast and you can get their items here, but right now just FEU dominating throughout all the lanes and just being proactive across the map. And Powder with his ult up, I'm expecting him to look for a gank soon.
This is the beauty of the Malzahar right here. Whatever shortages you have as far as mana expenditure on your skills, once you hit that E to the max, and with the Molonomicon, really makes for easy mana regeneration through those waves.
Yeah, Malzahar, really weird pick here, but of course, let's talk about his ultimate. The potential in a flash engage with Malzahar, you just get so much CC to a point-and-click CC, in fact, without the QSS, you have no counterplay to that. And I'm waiting to see if Bri can actually roam, because he's pushing in Blaze a lot here. So I want to see Bri give more pressure to the side lanes by roaming.
This is going to be a fight. Carnegie getting the body slam onto Wix. Wix taking so much damage. They're going to get the knock-up onto two members of National University. Still actually live to tell the tale. Bri getting the kill onto Carnegie. Looks like 3 members of National University are already down. 2 members trying to get the retreat. But looks like that will be the 3-0 in favor of FEU at a, wow, 10-0.
Yeah, a small skirmish over the blue buff area nets FEU 3 kills in the 5v5 fight. They're just flexing their leaders, showing NU that they are ahead and we want to take the fight here. And it will potentially end up in being a mid-tower deck really going to open up the map for FEU, allow for more roams and more map movements.
How long is this going to go where National University couldn't secure a single kill? They almost got Wix, but at the last moment, a good body block coming in from Bri, if I'm not mistaken, coming in from that Caitlyn ult. So, man, if this really picks up, I'm not sure how National University could even land a comeback here, because as far as damage, that might be something they struggle with. Stun though coming in onto Wix. Are they going to get Vengeance? Teleport coming in from Rory. Oh, it's actually Bri. Okay, so Bri going to continue to chase her, but decides to fall back a bit. Is taking straight aggro.
Yeah, Bri not having his ultimate ability up there in order to actually follow up on his teleport. Just gonna save his bot laner's life, and so far still a perfect game from FEU. Not dropping
Powder.
a tower or a dragon. Or a kill.
Gonna get sought out by that right there. Carnegie kind of annoying, looking for an opportunity. Not gonna finish. He doesn't have his ult up just yet. Will be though in a few seconds. Rory though, just kind of dealing with Paul Kappa towards the top side here. Is taking a bit of damage from those barrels, but won't deter him just yet. FEU though still lingering, even with the less than half of health coming in from Bri and Wix respectively.
Yeah, FEU needs to be careful here.
Ooh, Powder gonna go in onto Members Charm coming in from Wix though. Kiddo getting the kill onto Carnegie. FEU Powder just kind of zoning in the rest of the members of National University. Bri gets Blaze, and Powder getting pixelated now. Carlisle trying to run this out though. Wix has to be careful, but no, actually gets the kill himself in a 4-for-0. Wow, in favor of, again, Far Eastern University.
14, and they're just really pushing the pace, upping the tempo, and what a nice ultimate from Wix, just charming Blaze as soon as he comes in with the Glacial Path, I believe, and just delaying the engage from Lisandro, forces Blaze to ult himself and not the key target from NU, and FEU just really playing well right now.
Absolutely insane. What I estimated to be a game that was supposed to go even is suddenly appearing to be what is probably one of the biggest stomps that we've seen in the Metro Conference for this term thus far. 14-0, that's something we haven't seen across the board for all the games that
McCrory as Guardian Angel at 17 minutes.
Goodness. that is just gonna be a hard Urgot to take in.
Yeah, I wonder where this version of FEU was when they got stomped by DLSU. This is like a new version of FEU. They look revitalized. They're playing really well early game, not being the reactive team, but being the proactive ones on the map. NU, they just look flustered here, not knowing what to do.
I don't know. I mean, same question exactly. This level of proactivity coming in from Far Eastern University, but then again, sure, I could definitely peg it as FEU stepping up their game in comparison to what was somewhat of an abyssal loss against DLSU. But at the same time, I also question some of the decision making from National University as well, because usually they really make plays starting out within the first 10 to 15 minutes. So to see nothing actually quickly come out of that, right, being focused.
No,
Wix though goes down. That will be the first kill for National University. No further pursuit though, as that was a lot of ultimates exhausted from National University.
Wix
3
just
ults actually.
ending the perfect game for FEU. Wix giving up that one death.
Oh, Wix.
It's not that sad, but
Yeah.
Wix giving up, of course, the perfect game, but
Could have been
NU
history.
has to continue doing this in order to get back. Even though they got that single kill, it's still onto the support, and they need more of these to claw their way back. But FEU still in the lead, still a significant lead.
Body slam onto Rory. Is Rory going to be the next casualty? So good. That's stunned. Guardian Angel going to be procced up. Are members of FEU in the vicinity? No, actually. Rory's still trying to do what he can. And another kill. Perfect streak, farewell. But still, FEU.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel really doesn't pay off when you're in the middle of 4 people.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, they're just gonna push out top wave here, and looks like FEU has lowered their tempo. They're not as clean as the first 15 minutes we saw from them.
Right and try something here. Take note. Ooh, goes for the Nether Grass. That's more than half of Blaze's health. But still, here comes Powder Glacial Prison.
Nice
Not quite
flash.
connecting. Good dodge there from Blaze, I gotta say.
I think Bry missed one spell from his combo there. He didn't cast E. Ooh, blue buff steal.
Didn't cast E. I'm not even sure if he... Did he cast Q, though?
He casted Q and then ulted, but I don't think he cast his E, which
Yeah.
he didn't deal enough damage to actually 100 to 0 Blaze. But of course, with Blaze having a Rod of Ages, it is hard to actually one-shot Lysandra with a few tank stats there.
True. I mean, even with the Leandri's Torment, wherein it grants you that 2% additional defense health damage, if I'm not mistaken. So, here we go. Rift Herald gonna be summoned towards mid lane, though. I think FEU gonna try to go for a distraction here so that they could go for this Baron. Ooh, they are gonna get spotted out by that Scrying Orb, though.
A good try from FEU trying to make a play to the Baron. If they did get that Baron, it would accelerate the game so much more and just put NU in an even larger hole than they already in.
Ooh. Boom, he goes in.
Not enough though.
Not enough to take down that turret at all, but still doesn't necessarily deter FEU. I'm actually wondering if that was... I think that was more for they needed to release their Herald already than them using it as an actual setup. It was kind of, I feel like that was more of an in-the-moment thing, wherein, hey, we need to just let go of this Rift Herald, and hey,
Baron
let's try to see what we can
here.
do. Ooh, FEU really gonna go at it though. National University making their way. Rick's gonna try to prevent them from entering Carnegie. Can he go for the steal? Ooh, actually Nethergrass coming in from Bry there to cancel out any body slam into that Baron.
A smart ultimate coming out of Bry, denying the smite steal, denying the 50-50 from NU, and Far Eastern University just gets an even tighter grip onto this game. Already a 10,000 gold lead at 21 minutes.
Man. And that's the beauty of the Malzahar right here, having already completed your Merlinomicon for that 20% cooldown. Not to mention, Bry at level 14 has access to level 2 Nethergrass, so that actually has a much, much higher cooldown, which easily made it accessible to him during that stop on Carnegie.
Yeah, and let's look at NU's comp here. They do have ways to wave here with the Caitlyn and the Lysandra. But one thing to note is that Lysandra needs to get close to the minion line in order to actually wave here. Especially with Baron up, it's going to be even harder for NU to clear these waves. And since Lysandra has to step so much more forward, it just makes it so much more dangerous for her to walk further into FEU's comp, because FEU has so many ways to start fights, but this one now.
Indeed. A lot of damage coming into Paul Kappa. Not enough to take him down. The teleport coming in from Rai. They are going in onto right. Wix gets the charms onto the members of National University. Powder really going front here. Stun though onto Wix. Nethergrass coming in. Will get the kill onto Carlisle. They are continuing to fight. McCrory smells blood in the form of Carnegie. Takes it down. Two members of National University. McCrory though trying to run from Paul Kappa. Down that top laner goes. But Wix trying to continue on to avenge his fallen comrade. Powder going in onto Pixelated. Paul Kappa trying to run this out though. Wix gonna try to, is he gonna follow up with a knockup? No, they are continuing to chase here. Paul Kappa trying what he can. Double kill for Powder, and that will be the ace. And Ryan was actually split pushing.
Yeah,
headed straight for bot.
a 5-for-1 ace for FEU, even though it looked good at the start for NU with the Cosmic Radiance denying most of the damage during the initial engage. FEU just being this far ahead, this early into the game, able to flex their muscles and just destroy the rest of NU and crush the team fight, and they put NU's base in ruins.
Holy cow, 15,000 gold difference at almost 24 minutes into the game. I don't think I've seen this huge a difference in our term thus far at only 24 minutes here. Looks like FEU going to converge on this last inhibitor. Down it goes. Stunt coming in onto Carnegie. Goes down as double man knockup coming in from Wix. And that will be the continuation. Double kill for Keto right now. 3 members of National University. I don't think they'll be able to defend this anymore with only Carlisle, the only surviving member of National University. Ladies and gentlemen, in what is probably one of the craziest and fastest and most definitive games I've seen in the Metro West Conference thus far. Congratulations, Far Eastern University, ending it with a 23-3.
Yeah, great game from FEU. Very dominant stomp of National University. Just trying to send a message, I guess, that what the version of FEU stop versus DLSU is not how we actually play. We have this version of ourselves where we can just dominate our opponents and impose our game plan onto them with our proactive plays across the map.
Indeed, I'm just in awe right now. Oh. That was crazy, I gotta say. Again, like you've been asking, where was that when FEU was against DLSU earlier? But looking at the scoreboard, all positive across the board for Far Eastern University. Not a single person in National University pulling ahead as far as statistics here, but
they just look outclassed during this game, and I think it can be accredited to Carnegie being really flustered, given that I believe he's the main shot caller for NU.
Wow, that damage coming in from Ryan Keto. Still, Paul Kappa dealing a substantial amount. At least it's more than half of what a single member of FEU dealt. So that's not so bad as far as the damage dealt. But still, as far as the score, that was crazy, man.
So kind of a quick way to end the last game of today. I mean, we did have some exciting games. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to the knockout stages and how the teams will actually match once things get a bit more serious. So look forward to that.
Indeed. So, ladies and gents, mukhang dito natatapos ang ating mga laro para sa araw na to. Once again, ako si Arctic at your service, fam. With me is Chisto. Ito ang Garena LoL Collegiate League 2017 Summer Turn Metro West Conference, powered by Lenovo. Drive.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. To Rick, Nethergrass coming in, will get the kill onto Carlisle. They are continuing to fight. McCrory smells blood in the form of Carnegie. Takes him down. 2 members of National University. McCrory though trying to run from Paul Kappa. Down that top laner goes. But Wix trying to continue on to avenge his fallen comrade. Powder going in onto Pixelated. Paul Kappa trying to run as double man knockup coming in from Wix. And that will be the continuation. Double kill for Keto right now. 3 members of National University. I don't think they'll be able to defend this anymore with only Carlisle, the only surviving member of National University. Ladies and gentlemen, in what is probably one of the craziest and fastest and most definitive games I've seen in the Metro West Conference thus far. Congratulations, Far Eastern University, ending it with a 23-3.
Great game from FEU.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.